Welcome, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Hey, it's time for Hollywood on the Rocks. Today on the show, Alan Ng and I are getting glicked. That's right. We will make it happen. We will review Gladiator II and Wicked, plus a load of news stories, your comments and questions. And Alan Ng is waiting in the wings, so let's start. Let's get things going. Let's go. Let's go. Come on.
Is the gays.
That's not the one. That's definitely not the one.
Dude, where the hell is this guy and what is he waiting for? Get over here. Alan.
There you are.
My best friend there. So.
That's right. Keanu. Love Keanu Reeves. I like the movie Keanu. You ever seen that? Key and Peele movie?
Mm-hmm. I haven't seen it. I should, though.
It's hilarious. Someone steals a kitten.
Yeah, I know. It's a cat movie. That's why I probably didn't see it.
You're a dog person.
Although my cat's probably in this room right now trying to get
I'm a neither person. So there you go. So although both cats and dogs tend to love me because I deny them of the one thing they want. They want my love. I don't give it away. I do not give my love away to pets easily. It must be earned.
That explains your dating habits.
All right.
I'm exhausted. I'm sorry.
You okay?
We didn't leave that party until 11 last night.
It was a good party.
Yeah.
It was very good. Hey, before we get into it today, let's see who's here.
Eric Stratton. Remember for 23 months. We're heading to 2 years here. Chris, I heard you described my experience with Wizard of Oz playing once per year on television. Frantic bathroom runs and had a big aluminum bowl of popcorn.
Eric, that is so funny that's a common experience. So I was on the Nooner today with Gary Bickler and, of course, X-Ray Girl, and I convinced X-Ray Girl to dress in green makeup to celebrate Wicked on FNT Friday. I will be watching. And you can thank me for the fact that she's wearing green. So thank me in the FNT chat. But yes, I grew up in an era when a movie was on TV. It was an event. Mm-hmm. This is before VCRs, home VCRs, talking late 60s, early 70s, movies like 10 Commandments every Easter, right? Like, West Side Story, Gone with the Wind, which was a 2-night event. Like, these movies were epic. They were family gatherings. You had to be there. It was one time. It united us as a culture. And I had the big aluminum popcorn bowl, which we had popcorn. We were in our pajamas. We took a bath, got in pajamas so we could fall asleep in front of the TV. And it was a family thing. And so that's how I experienced The Wizard of Oz. And I'm so happy, Eric, you were a part of that. It was a different time. And what about you, Alan? Do you?
No, we actually didn't do the movies. We did the TV shows. So we would Jiffy Pop rather than have the big aluminum bowl. And then it was the Charlie Brown Christmas and Thanksgiving specials, and then it was all the Rankin Bass stuff. Every single year on the dot, we were on in front of the television watching that stuff.
I have those all on Blu-ray, and I love them. The Rankin Bass stuff really got me interested in stop motion animation.
Yeah, and it was amazingly magical. I mean, the whole heat miser, cold miser.
Oh, I love that.
Man,
I love that.
I love those
I
songs.
have, by the way, I have the freeze miser's hair.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at my hair, it is look at my hair and then go ahead, Google images freeze miser. I have the exact hair as freeze miser. So thank you.
I'm going for the heat miser's body. So
That's our holiday costume.
Yeah.
Alan, you be Heat Miser. I'll be the Freeze Miser.
Can you even find those costumes?
No, you can make them. They're not that hard. Get a big red leotard. I'll have a blue leotard.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the hair. You need a red wig, though.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, Burl Ives, his voice has been
Burl
ingrained in my
Ives.
brain since childhood.
See, Eric, what you started, and thank you. That's 2 years of support. And go to our members channel. Go to the members only playlist on our YouTube channel. I put up Q&As. I just recorded a Q&A with Eli Roth and the director of The Substance. Amazing half-hour Q&A. It was real. So all of those are for members only. I don't feel comfortable monetizing those and making them public.
Mm-mm.
Sorry about that. But for our members, I share those videos along with other videos. Alan's trip to the Catalina Island Film Festival, which is it up there yet?
Go up Monday. It'll go one day.
Going up Monday.
It'll be just walking down through the city of Avalon with no narration.
All right. Well, I have something to look forward to on Monday.
Yeah. By the way, are you going to see The Substance again when Guillermo del Toro interviews the director?
I might do that. I think I'm busy that day. Anyways, okay. Alan, your cue.
Oh, I'm sorry. Joe Pat 87-199. Mickey Rooney, Santa Supremacy.
That's right.
All right. Sons and Shadows, is this going to be the gayest film threat stream yet? I believe we've had gayer films.
I'm not sure.
Is the gayest gays?
I think so.
I mean, as gay as Wicked is, it's really not that gay.
It's we'll get into it because it's gay in a certain sense, and then it's not in another sense.
Like if we were to talk about Rent, yeah, it would be gay. Joe Chapman. So Gladiator II is the plastic cheese version of macaroni.
Pretty much. We'll get into it.
Sergeant Giratina. Glicked is the new Barbenheimer.
The new Barber. They're trying to make it a thing. I'm telling you, it's not a thing. But
yeah, the problem is one of the two films is not very good.
Yes. Oh wait, I already got that. Sorry, Eric.
And then from Lord Thoth, let's go! Like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Sign up as a member. Join us on X, Discord, Rumble, and Instagram. Buy our merch at shop.filmthread.com.
That's right. Shop.filmthread.com is here for the holidays. Limited edition, only available through the holidays. Wrapping paper, holiday shirt. We even got the Film Threat Before Christmas. I have to get that one.
Yeah.
And the Drinker's Choice collection. I love my hoodie. It's awesome. And other merch, we've got glasses, all kinds of, we got like 50 t-shirts. Is it up to that now? But I like this. The pint glass is amazing. This pint glass is really special. So I have that glass. So there you go. Cool. And another thing I would like to, you leave that up there for a sec. I want to plug something else before we get started. Our good friend Todd Blackwood, who was so instrumental to our Critics Court trial of Star Wars. He did all the drawings. Todd Blackwood this is very timely. He's already made the goal, but there's only 1 week left to get the graphic novel Nosferatu by Todd Blackwood. It's on Kickstarter now. 1 week left. It's based on the silent classic and adapted for the comics medium by Todd Blackwood. Link will be in the description. I am buying this myself. I'm getting it. So I'm going to back this project. I have not yet. I look for something like around 100. I like to support friends and get the highest package. So I'm going to do that. So, look, soft cover and hardcover combo. I'm liking it. Look at that art. His art during Critics Court was amazing. So I support Kickstarters all the time. I invest in indie movies and comics, and this looks amazing based on the original silent classic. So support Todd. Look at that cover.
Yeah.
Wow. Support Todd and pick this up. We'll probably plug this again next week. Just
I feel like I saw a lot of that last night.
what's that? Oh yeah. Well, we can talk about it. Like real quick. We'll talk about it. Thank you, Todd. All your support. You're always welcome as part of Critics Court. What did we do last night, Alan?
We were at one of the press screenings for Nosferatu.
And we met Robert Eggers. And I asked him the most, I thought about this question. I thought, I'm not going to get something in depth. So I said to him, I said, hey, really love the film. And I got to ask you a serious question. In both The Northman and Lighthouse, you had scenes where characters were farting. Why? What was behind the decision to not include farts in Nosferatu? He laughed, we chatted, and there you go.
You're not gonna give him the answer?
Well, first of all, I know it's a dumb question. It was just because, you get like 2 minutes and whatever. Yeah. I mean, I saw this movie over a year ago at a test screening. It didn't change all that much, and it's even better. The sound mix, the score, I mean, it is a genuine ode to Gothic horror. Cue the stories. This movie is not diverse. It is true to the era and the spirit in which it was made. It's a Gothic horror set in Transylvania and 1800s, early 1800s London. And we'll talk about it because it's one of the movies that opens on Christmas Day. So we'll do a whole show where we just do those movies.
Yeah. I mean, my question is, how did they get their laundry done if there wasn't any diversity there?
Yeah.
And then, and to the answer he gave you, it was because he was adapting someone else's work.
Yeah, that's right. He did say that. He
gave appropriate to add a fart into it.
He gave a serious answer. Yeah, he did say that because Lighthouse and Northman are original, and so he could include farts. But the fart in Northman, make a banner for this so we can do a video. Let's discuss farts. The fart in Northman, I would argue, because I'll say this about farts. Men love farts. They think they're funny. They're interesting. They're a fart you can guarantee will make someone laugh. If you're a man, women do not find farts funny. Is this now? Look,
you're right, but I would say kids like farts.
Kids like farts,
and girls like farts.
And farts for men are funny at any age. They cross generations. But they're only pretty much for men. Yeah. So I don't think I don't know if I've ever met a woman that found a fart funny.
Well, okay, so the first time I heard my daughter laugh, like really laugh, like a hearty laugh.
How old was she?
She was I want to say she was 10 months, maybe 10 months. She laughed watching my dog poop.
Oh my God.
We were just in the backyard, my dog poops, and she just starts bursting in laughter.
Oh my God. Look, okay, Nerd Far Away. Are you Nerd Far Away is a woman or a man? Nerd Far Away is.
She's a woman. I'm pretty sure she's.
Oh, well, that's great. So if you find a woman who finds farts funny, marry her. He is a unicorn. All right, that's my advice right there. So there you go. Atomic Glory loves farts.
Okay, so nerdy girls like farts.
And Atomic Glory is okay. That makes a lot of sense. I love that Atomic Glory loves farts. So there you go. But I'll say this: the moment in The Northman when both father and son are farting is a bonding moment. It's meant to be a bonding moment, something very primal. So I would argue in The Northman, the fart as portrayed on screen is very important. So there you go. And we've got now we have turned the chat into simply fart discussion.
I have farted on stage by mistake.
On accident? Really?
On accident, yeah. I was like, we do this game called Sideline Debate where you're debating on a topic and you don't know what the topic is, and your teammates are giving you mime clues to get you to the topic. And so one time I had, it was my turn to guess. I stepped foot on, I did the kind of a thump on stage and I farted, and the entire audience heard it. And,
did they laugh?
It was just the laughter. And then, I was frozen in horror and then walked off stage. And,
well, all I can say is at least it wasn't a shart.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I have
let's pivot. Let's pivot here. We're going to pivot.
We have a super chat, by the way, about that. From Oilers Workshop for 199. Cancel farts. They're not inclusive enough.
They include everyone who thinks farts are funny. So there you go. And we already did that. Yeah, okay. Let's go to our first topic. Right here. If you would bring up the story, Alan. Yeah. Moana, Wicked, and Gladiator set for record Thanksgiving. We've had a lackluster few weeks at the box office. Wicked and Gladiator are opening this weekend, but the Thanksgiving holiday, and Moana 2, that would be, is shaping up to be huge. Alan, if you would, from the Hollywood Reporter, who wrote this? Pamela McClintock. Take it away, Alan.
All right, box office. Hollywood cooking up record-breaking Thanksgiving feast. With Moana 2, Wicked, and Gladiator 2 on the table, domestic revenue for the 5-day Hollywood corridor is expected to hit an all-time high north of $300 million. As Ridley Scott and his high-profile Gladiator 2 cast, Denzel, Paul, Connie, walked the red carpet during the November 18th LA premiere, a makeshift wall prevented them from seeing an enormous Christmas tree perched at the entrance of the Ovation Hollywood Mall adjacent to the TCL Chinese Theater. Consider it a symbol of Christmas coming early this year for all of Hollywood, as November tentpoles Gladiator 2, the musical Wicked, and the animated juggernaut Moana 2 hit the theater big screen timed Turkey Day. For the first time in a long time, there will be something for everyone at the movie theaters this Thanksgiving. Notes one top studio executive. When there are great choices, the business hums. By all accounts, the three films are expected to fuel the biggest Thanksgiving weekend in history in terms of overall revenue, a rare bright spot in the post-pandemic era. The boost will help narrow a worrisome year-over-year gap in domestic box office earnings due to lack of product resulting from a lengthy 2023 labor strikes and the ongoing COVID related delays. There you go. And they just kind of some of the past November Thanksgivings. Route Breaks the Internet, Creed 2, Fantastic Beasts, all underperforming during those weekends.
Well, it's been a lackluster box office this whole year, with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine and a few others.
Inside Out too.
Yeah. It's been pretty lackluster. This is the boost they need. Between now and the end of the year, you're going to have a few things here and there. Obviously, I'm looking forward to Nosferatu, but it's in terms of breakout, not that much. And box office has not rebounded from a high of 2019. I'm talking about cumulative, how much money people are spending at the theater. Any thoughts on this, Alan?
Yeah, well, let's note that this is the 1-year anniversary of Wish. and
oh my god,
yeah, that Wish was the Thanksgiving treat, and then a month before that was the Marvels, then the year before was Strange World, and we've talked about how dead the box office was those 2 Thanksgiving weekends. And Disney was kind of none of the studios put out anything good, and then Disney was the one anchoring them with 2 horrible movies. So the verdict is out on Moana 2. We're seeing it on Monday, but we'll see. You would think that they would have let press go out or press screenings happen this past week, but no, we're seeing it 2 days before it comes out. So it's
we're seeing it very last minute. Not a good sign for Moana 2.
Right, and I'll say this: I think if they're gonna hit 300 million, it will all be because of Wicked.
I think with regard to Moana 2, finally we get a non-white princess. Finally, even though there's been a bunch of them.
Yeah, and that this is Moana 2.
Yes. Oh God.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really don't care about. I think Moana, the first one I saw, it was all right. It was okay. Nothing. It didn't blow my mind. It was all right. But it reminds me of like the direct to VHS clamshell Disney movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very low expectations. It's a whatever, and I don't know.
Well, it premiered this new songwriter called Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Well, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
In fact, he was working on Moana 2 alongside Hamilton at the time.
Now, in a related story, the first image of the live action Moana. So let's take a look. If you would bring that up, Alan. There, yes, in a surprise to no one, there is a live action Moana coming to theaters. I don't know, is it next year?
I believe.
And the first image has come out from Moana, and we're going to take a look at it. I'm not a huge fan of all these live action remakes. I mean, I feel like part of Disney's reason to do live action versions is to re-register a copyright.
But Moana, I mean,
right? I know.
It came out that long ago.
I know. It's like now they're on the heels. Like, at some point they'll do an animated version of the live action Moana.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to do it for the copyright, you have to do it like 70 years from now.
Bring up this image, Alan. I want to take a look.
Okay.
That's it?
Well, there's 3. Here we go. There's that one.
Yeah.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Go back.
X. Okay, there's that one. Look, there he is.
Is that The Rock?
Yep, that's Dwayne Johnson.
Okay.
Dwayne Johnson is not built like Maui.
Right.
I mean, he's got a good bod. But look, he's wearing a muscle suit, which I'm sure they're going to fix in post.
It's like when you see guys wear those Batman costumes and the muscles are pre-sewn in.
Mm-hmm. That's what we got.
So, what'd you say about him?
He's hot. Is the gayest gays.
Yeah, well, that's so funny. He's in it. Clearly, look, his head doesn't even match the suit. I don't care about this. All the Disney live action. Wait, what? Name a Disney live action based on a animated feature that is good.
Cinderella.
Right. Everyone says that. I haven't seen that one.
I mean, Cinderella, directed by Kenneth Branagh, stars Kate Blanchett and Lily James. It follows the story pretty close. Everyone, for the most part, is white in it.
Right.
It truly is a straight adaptation of the original.
Let's go to your comments here.
Brock Samsonite, Moana will do well. I think it's instead of GLICKED, we should be discussing Moaned.
That's good.
All right. John Manley, I completely forgot about Wish. Hey, so did everyone else.
Only 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Do you have a Wish bucket?
I don't have a Wish bucket, but they did send me the album last year. I know you got it too.
I just got rid of it. I there's a bookstore near me in Pasadena called Book Alley,
Mhm.
and I regularly take books and things there. I also buy stuff there too.
Yeah.
It's a great bookstore, Book Alley, Pasadena, used bookstore. It's been around for decades. I love that store. I know the owner, and I'm in there about twice a year to sell stuff. I'm do a trip.
Yeah. Well, I
Here
saw
we
that
go.
one at this other record store called Walmart.
Ever heard of it? Continue
Geek
with the
360 what? Geek 264, the 1-year anniversary of the birth and death of Wish. Notice no one is talking about it. No one is talking about it. KG Jung, Disney that confident. You know, JWT6577, member for 14 months. The first Pacific Islander princess since the previous first Pacific Islander princess.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah.
All right,
This
we're
is
going to
good.
do some more news stories before we get to our main event, which is review. We're going to do reviews of two films, two major films. But let's talk about this. Have to talk about this. Celebs won't talk with Sebastian Stan because of Trump. I have the video queued up, Alan, but I want you to bring up the story from IndieWire. The deal is this. In fact, I was invited to this screening. We go to screenings around award season where they have Q&As. This is regarding the film The Apprentice, in which Sebastian Stan plays Donald Trump. It's set in the 70s and 80s. It's like a rise and fall of Trump. It's a warts and all. I would disagree with Alan. I don't think, while it may attempt to be a hit piece, it actually humanizes Trump. There's a scene where he's going, through where he has this one building and collecting rent. And it just, I think it's sort of like Trump Man Begins. That's how I describe it. Even though it does show his human side, I think that's endearing. It shows he's not perfect, how he developed his philosophy and his relationship with,
I mean, I would agree with you, except for the let's say the graping scene.
yes, which
Other
is,
than that, if you didn't have that scene in the movie, I think you would have more people understanding and appreciate what the filmmaker was going for.
yeah. So I quite liked The Apprentice. You did not. I assume
No, I
it's
liked
on.
it. I like The Apprentice, but
You didn't love it.
I don't think it's a balanced film at all. And again, that one scene will piss a lot of people off. And it would have been a good movie, or it would have been a more acceptable movie without that one scene.
Well, I'll just say this. So they did some what they call for your consideration screenings of movies. They did one for this film. The director and Sebastian Stan did a Q&A. I think the story just recounts the video, so I'm just going to show the video.
Yeah. Well, let me just a little bit. But Variety on YouTube does this thing called Actors on Actors, where two prominent actors of today interview each other.
Right.
And Sebastian Stan was set to do one of those.
Right. So
go ahead.
It's a popular series. Let me show you the video here. So I have the video queued up. Thanks to Atomic Lori. Appreciate you. Let me do this. Some people are complaining about the echo. That's why I put the headphones on when I play videos. So I'm going to play this, Alan. You know what to do. Yeah. Here we go. It's a 2-minute clip, but worth watching the whole thing. We'll talk about it on the back end.
The amount of love that I've received, from some of the biggest, both of us, I think, in terms of actors, directors, producers, writers who have seen the movie and they rave about it. But then, for instance, I had an offer to do Variety Actor on Actor this Friday, and I couldn't find another actor to do it with me because they were too afraid to go and talk about this movie, so I couldn't do it. And it doesn't matter. That's okay. That's not to point a finger at anybody. I've got to do a lot of great things, and that's not pointing at anyone specific. It was we couldn't get past the publicists or the people representing them because it was too afraid to talk about this movie. And it's like, that's when I think we lose the situation. Because if it really becomes like that fear or that discomfort to talk about this, then we're really going to have a problem. There was an op-ed that came out that I sent to him in New York Times recently that I thought was really interesting, which said we have to stop pretending that Trump is not one of us. You know, and that's a really difficult thing to deal with at the moment. And I understand the emotions are very high, but I think that's the only way you're going to grasp this film. If all it's saying is you cannot keep casting this person aside, especially after they get the popular vote. Should we not give this a closer look and try to understand what it is about this person that's even driving that? Or, you know, and I don't know if the love is going to translate into action, but certainly it's there from what we're hearing. But
I'll just say this: stop vilifying your fellow Americans. Stop vilifying your coworkers who supported Trump. Stop vilifying your friends or relatives for voting for Trump. Look, it's more than half the country. We need to stop the division. I saw it just creep in amongst my friends. I have friends, and I never even declared who I voted for. Okay, I try to keep things neutral. I don't like to preach. I don't like to tell you what to do or what to think, but I offer my thoughts, ideas, and then you can form your own opinion and make your own decision. And whatever you decide, whatever side you voted for, I'll be your friend. Because I can tell you this, Hollywood is divided. And a lot of people, especially people who work below the line, that is the real worker's job on a film set. That's gaffers, grips, the union trucking guys, and just name us a position that's not on camera. These are the people that work and make a film set run. A lot of them may have voted differently. You have to work with them. And it's so great to see Sebastian Stan. He's not even, you know what? He probably didn't vote for Trump. Okay. But stop the division. It's disgusting. And I met Sebastian Stan he was at another
different man,
a different man. He did amazing performance. He needs to get nominated this year for something. And he seems very based in common sense. I'm just tired of it. I feel like if I was the dad of America, I would turn off the TV and say, get along and work it out. That's what I did with my kids when they were younger. And they would fight in front of the TV. And I was dad. And I turned off the TV. I said, you got to work this out. I'll turn the TV back on when you get along. And the just unhinged reactions by some people on the left are disheartening. How are we going to, I want to solve the problems in this country. A bad economy isn't a left or right issue. Okay. The problems at the border aren't left or right. The problems of the economy, the environment, our failing education system. We have people entering college who can't read and don't regularly read books. Okay. We have real problems in this country. I want people committed to solving problems. We have a government out of control spending our money. Our taxes are nearly up to 40%. It's wasteful. I want to see real change in action. And I want to get people, anyone that pushes division or hyperbole about the other side. What are you supposed to do? What are we supposed to do as a nation? I want us on the same page. I don't care who won. Okay. I want that person, whoever won, to solve our problems. Alan, I know you have thoughts.
Yeah. We've
There
lost.
you go. That's Alan's thought.
No, we've lost the ability to debate. I remember when in 2008, during the Obama election, it was almost, I have liberal friends, I have conservative friends. I argue with both sides constantly. But around 2008, I realized that my liberal friends, they were not willing to talk anymore. They weren't willing to debate anymore. And that's where we lost it. That's where it's like, we don't need to constantly be arguing racism. It's bad. And so they would just shut you down and say, well, if you don't agree, you're racist. I mean, that's where it ultimately began. And what I appreciate about what Sebastian Stan said here, and to his point, is when we've lost the ability to have the conversation, America was founded on the discussion of ideas, this forum of ideas, this back and forth. The Senate was made for that purpose. That's why you have the filibuster, where you have to get a consensus. You just can't let the majority rule,
Right.
That's I say it more and more. 70% of everything that we argue and disagree about and talk about, I think we have 70% of everything we believe is common ground, meaning the left and the right. We have things we believe in and that we agree on.
Yes.
And then the rest is just up for debate. And if we just legislated on that 70%, this country would be much better than it is today.
Mm-hmm.
But the last, I would say, well over a decade, just the vitriol and the name calling and the division has grown more and more. And I want to feel like now people are starting to open their eyes and realize we can't continue on like this, and that we have to kind of reach across the aisle.
But towards that end, the media needs to start being honest.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me the unbiased news. Tell me the facts. I'll decide what to think. And as long as our media continues to go down the path of telling you what to think, be very aware of that. Be mindful, be critical. And coming from a Gen Xer, question everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's my default setting with everything, including Alan.
Yes.
Let's go to your comments here on this topic. We have a couple more to go. I promise we'll go as quickly as I can.
All right. Robot Dews. How dare he star in a movie that didn't portray him as Hitler? Yeah, how dare they?
It doesn't. I think it's honest, except for one.
Well,
which I agree with. I agree with you, Alan.
It is a caricature, but I agree with you. It is a more honest portrayal than you would have expected going in.
Correct.
Jay Patridge. Trump Man Begins. Sounds like a great movie.
Yeah. Thank you.
Lord Comet for 2. Afternoons, Chris, Gore, and Alan. Thoughts on Blue Sky?
I signed up just so I could post memes. I think I posted 2 things, and I'm getting no traction. I think I have like 50 followers.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on Blue Sky, my same name, that Chris Gore on Blue Sky, and I went to check it out. It's like, hey, is anybody here? Echo, echo, echo.
Yeah, I tried to go on. Someone took my username 8 hours before I had to sign up for it.
Yep.
So my pal Al got taken 8 hours before I tried to get it.
Oh, man.
I know. So I'm not using Blue Sky.
Do Film Threat Alan.
Yeah. Lord Comet for 2. This is why Chris Gore is my spirit animal.
Oh, thank you so much, Lord Comet.
John Manling, 1000%, Chris. The people have spoken this past election. Let's move on together.
I want everyone to do well.
Mm-hmm.
I want everyone to succeed. I want everyone to be their best selves. I want that. Thank you, John.
Yeah. ADLS 24. They aren't afraid of retribution from Trump. They are afraid of losing the invite to all the exclusive events and parties.
Well, Alan and I still get invited, which I'm very surprised about.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I'm seriously surprised.
Well, I told you I got invited to the press conference for Moana 2. And so I don't know if it's because I'm with CCA or they just or just proves the power of Film Threat that they don't know what I've done.
I think it's the outlet, Alan. I think people respect the outlet, and that's why I don't know, I guess still get invites. All right.
Yep.
Another topic here. Matt Walsh, a hypocrite for submitting his documentary, Am I Racist, to the Oscars? I've got the story right. Or would you like to? I've got the story right here, Alan. It is from Variety. Matt Walsh is a hypocrite for submitting Am I Racist to the Oscars. Why are right wingers seeking liberal validation? I'll say this. I saw Matt's documentary, What is a Woman? I saw his film and we did cover it. Am I Racist? And I find Matt Walsh funny. He has a dry wit, unlike comedian Stephen Wright. I think he has really common sense insights. I think a lot of his views I don't even consider to be right wing. They're right in the middle of simple common sense. He's like the grumpy dad who never smiles. And so a lot of what he does, including his movies, are there. He's trolling. He's trolling. And just by submitting to the Oscars, one, you have to give him credit. What are the most successful documentaries of the last decade in terms of box office? It made more money than the Pharrell Williams Lego documentary, Piece by Piece, directed by Morgan Neville, which I think that should be an Oscar nominee. And I also think Am I Racist should be an Oscar nominee. And Alan and I both vote in the CCA, and I will be submitting for the CCA my support for this film. I will vote for it to be a nominee. I don't have any.
Well, it's not eligible for CCA because we already had our documentary award.
Yeah. Yes, that's.
We don't have a documentary category.
No, that it might be in the next calendar. In any case, all I'm saying is he's a troll. He's doing this to F with people. His whole Twitter feed, he trolls. And I think it's funny and it's brilliant marketing. While Hollywood spends tens of millions, even $100 million marketing budgets, the marketing budget for this was tiny. I believe the documentary budget was $2 million or under $2 million. And they probably spent less on the marketing. So they've been promoting it as an Oscar submitted movie, which is hysterical. So I really love this. I think it's and this article just proves the left has no sense of humor. It's a troll. They don't get memes. They don't have a sense of humor. I have yet to meet a feminist who has a sense of humor, or a male feminist for that matter, who has a sense of humor. We have to be able to laugh at ourselves. Alan, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm looking at the box office. And yeah, you're right. At 12.3 million, it is the highest grossing documentary this year, followed by Jesus Thirst, another documentary about
faith-based movies. Alan, your thoughts on this? We'll move on. We got
well, this is the thing. For people in Hollywood, they never like to come across, or they never like to openly admit they're liberal or that Hollywood is liberal, which is exactly what this article does. It tells you, if you've wondered if Hollywood is liberal, wonder no more, because they just outright say it.
Right.
Because if they're saying that they're balanced and that they don't take a side, then you wouldn't have an article like this saying right winger versus liberal, seeking liberal vindication.
Right.
And so that's the critical thing about this, because now you admit that the Oscars have a political bias,
right?
And it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It must always be about the quality of the art. So if documentaries now have to have a political bent, well, what about all the other movies?
Well, a documentary by its definition should be seeking the truth. Mm-hmm. And I've noticed a trend over the last probably decade. Documentaries are extremely biased. Mm-hmm. They know the point they want to make before they shoot frame one. And this is the problem. And you can start with a premise. It can evolve as you make the doc, but I hardly see any docs. I'd say 90+% or more of docs already come with a point of view and an agenda that is fueled by the financiers. Whoever funds the documentary, they're the one that is choosing what opinion to have.
Well, let's be real. The Daily Wire funded this one.
Well, and that's true.
Falls in line with the Daily Wire viewpoint on racism. and CRT.
Well, I'll just say this: at least it's funny.
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Alan. We'll go to comments.
Yeah, I mean, I'll semi disagree with you. Science experiments, science exploration should be unbiased. It should be about but documentaries. Look, documentaries. I think that to me the best documentaries are the ones that present both sides. You can have a viewpoint. You could definitely let's say you're a pro-choice and you want to make a pro-choice movie. To me, if you present the pro-life side in a way that's fair and accurate, I will give you higher points, even though I may or may not agree with your viewpoint.
Right.
And that's the problem, is that even the message-based documentaries, they don't do that. They have a viewpoint, and they only present the evidence that supports their viewpoint. Where I want to see them present viewpoints and then counter it and say, this is why this person says this, but this is why that person's wrong. That's the kind of documentary. So you could be left, right, whatever, but as long as you present your case and be fair to the other side, you're not going to have a good documentary if you don't do that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm just tired of, and I'm going to end on this before we go to your comments. I'll repeat what Gary Bickler has said. I don't like that. I don't want a bunch of right-wing movies. I don't want a bunch of, I want them to not pick a side. If you're going to put some, how about an appeal to common sense?
Mm-hmm.
Something we can all agree upon. And Hollywood taking a side is killing the business. You should not align on one side or the other. And that's my thought. All right. Let's go to your comments here.
All right. C Science 69. Matt actually is submitting it to the Oscar is more of a litmus test for the Hollywood elite hypocrisy and just a giant troll move to them, not him being a hypocrite. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. It's a troll move. I think it's funny. They're using it in the promotion. Get a grip. The fact that that news story doesn't get that is kind of ridiculous to me. Kind of ridiculous.
And again, this idea of my side is always right, the other side is always wrong. And why are we giving air to the other side? John Manlang is hypocrite for submitting his film to the most popular movie award show for a broader reach. No.
Yeah, look, Alan, I'll be right back. But
okay.
You keep reading.
Yeah, Benjamin.
Excuse me, Alan. I'll be back again. Our interview subject will be here, but I need a break. Yeah. I can hear every comment.
Yeah,
I can hear.
You need an empty bladder to continue.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Running with Scissors says most of the budget was paid on interviewees, I think. Well, they definitely disclose how much they were paid, and some got tens of thousands. I think someone got 200,000 or close to it. Let's see. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll go here. Sons and Shadows. If someone made a film, you are racist from the other side, it'd win an Oscar. Oh yeah, if they made the film called "You Are Racist," it would win the Oscar. Anonymous. I bet over 90% or more of the documentaries are very biased. Yeah, I think, I don't know. Would you watch a documentary that was just pure facts? Would you find that interesting? Or do you want someone to at least come in with a viewpoint and then kind of run with the conversation from there? I think that's kind of where I think of it. I think you do need a viewpoint of some sort rather than just trying to be ultra neutral. But again, be fair to both sides. The Introspect M. Everything needs funding, and that will always be a factor. But using proper journalistic integrity should be the bulwark of overt bias. Bulwark to overt bias.
Do you get this super chat?
Do you want to take that after we talk about the documentary?
Yeah, good idea.
It's not related. Okay. Dennis Wright. Science is never unbiased because they are done by humans. Yeah, that's why the Earth was flat for a very long time. We do have.
Yeah.
But that's the point of science, is to keep digging and come to the truth. Brock Samsonite, that documentary wasn't very honest. I watched it. Walsh was antagonistic the entire time. He was trying to provoke a reaction, and when there wouldn't have been one if he acted normally.
I think my I don't know. He was trying to make a point. I actually like that he had to interject himself. Probably the best one was at the race to dinner, where he said a toast to racism, and he got all the white people to toast racism.
Yeah, but to Brock's point, what makes the Am I Racist a good documentary from my standpoint was he at least let the other side talk. He didn't interrupt them. He let them get through their entire argument and what they believe, and then he went after them. But he didn't cut them off. He didn't overtalk them. He didn't edit their interviews at all. And so at least he's allowing the other side to present their case fully.
Right.
And then from Luke Brown for £2 guys, seen the new Star Trek short 765-874 Unification?
I have seen it. It's amazing. It's the future of Star Trek. Make movies with Kirk, Spock, McCoy. I think it's beautiful. I think William Shatner himself watched it and got choked up. It's they had a missed opportunity when Leonard Nimoy and Shatner's around. They could have put them in the new Trek, and there was a scene that was written with Shatner. They didn't use it, but yeah, it's I'd rather see the fans who put together that Unification short. I'd rather see them be the stewards of new Star Trek going forward rather than Alex Kurtzman. What do you think, Alan?
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, there you go. But everyone should check that out. Everyone, and thank you for the super chat. Everyone should check that out. All right. We've got a few more things here, stories. Let's do this. One more, and we're going to get to our...
okay.
Megyn Kelly calls for Disney to fire Rachel Zegler.
This is a video.
Yeah, we'll show the video in a second. I'll just say, on occasion, I do watch Megyn Kelly. I think she's has a lot of opinions on things. Some I agree with, some I don't. The Rachel Zegler situation is something I feel like we can all get behind. Now, can you fire Rachel Zegler when the movie's already done? So the one thing about the entertainment industry, and Megyn Kelly should understand this, it's a freelance business. You're hired for a set amount of time. When the job is over, your job is done. You're not fired, but you're not working for that company anymore. Now, for the talent, you do have other obligations, which include promoting the film. So I have not seen this video. Alan, do you want to put it in the private chat? I will share it.
I have it right now.
Okay, if you could share this video. I have not seen it. I'm looking. Just play it for us, and then we'll comment on the other side.
Okay, there we go.
All right, let's watch this.
Picture a Broadway actress who issued a post saying, F Biden supporters. May Biden or Kamala never have a moment's peace. That person would be fired so fast it would make your head spin. They wouldn't last one more minute in any Hollywood role. This is truly like, she has to go. I'm sorry, Disney. She has to go. And you're going to put out a Disney film with Snow White, a beloved American character, with a woman who hates more than half the country, the half that just elected Donald Trump. This is an incredible pivot point right now. We'll see which way the woke Disney decides to go.
All right. So I'll just say this. I agree with her, but what do you do when you promote the movie? So but it brings up a question, and this relates to the Gina Carano case. Should talent be allowed to express their political opinions, whether it's Mark Ruffalo, Mark Hamill, or Rachel Zegler? I'd rather hear nothing. And what Gina Carano said, she was kind of middle of the road. Just I felt she was just asking questions. I know our audience are big supporters of Gina. I am as well. So I just think their policy needs to be consistent, because if you're a comment on one side of the aisle, there are no repercussions. If you comment on the other, you'll be ostracized. End this. And when you look at people like Justine Bateman, who is now my spirit animal, is Justine Bateman. And she said it's like she's tired of walking on eggshells. All right, let's loosen up. You bring senses of humor back. Let's be committed to solving problems. So, I don't know. Alan, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I go on the idea of it's either all free speech or no free speech. There's no middle, because when you do the middle, it's only one form of speech is acceptable versus the other. So you either let actors say whatever they want, carte blanche, and they have no repercussions for it, or you just lay the hammer down. You say, look, you signed a contract. You're making this movie. And while you're making the movie and promoting it, you're not to say anything political in the public whatsoever at any time until the movie comes out. And so you pick one. If look, what she said, that's how she felt. Fine. I can, as an audience, I can judge that. I'm not going to go out and cancel her for it. But let other people be allowed to say the opposing viewpoint. Or again, make them sign a contract saying you're saying on social media, or you're fined or you're fired or something like that. Go one way or the other. But the idea that one side is wrong, one side is right, this is the problem we have. Megyn Kelly brings up. If she had said F Biden, she would have been fired or canceled by the woke mob. Just let her say what she wants to say. Freedom of speech.
All right. I respect your opinion, Alan. Let's go to your comments.
All right. From Phil Gahn. Just scrap Snow White altogether. Yeah.
Look, it doesn't make me want to see it. I'll tell you that.
Nothing. Even without the comments, no one wants to see this movie. Joe Chapman. Yeah. Beep, bop, boop got someone fired.
Yeah. Do you believe that, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Beep, bop, boop. That is ridiculous.
Yeah. Lord comment for 2. I think everyone should be allowed to speak up. Us too.
I do believe everyone should be allowed to speak their mind. For example, if you look at the Film Threat social media feed, it is opinionless. It doesn't take a side. So Film Threat is we cover everything. Documentaries on the right. We were one of the few outlets who covered Am I Racist and What is a Woman? Literally like 5 outlets. We cover right-wing docs. We cover drag queen docs. We have different writers, and the writers can express their opinions.
We covered the anti-Trump documentaries as well.
Yes, the outlet itself is unbiased. However, Alan has his own opinions. Alan is Alan, but Film Threat is different. I'm committed to this as a media outlet. Film Threat will be unbiased, but writers are allowed to have their own opinions. And there are people on complete opposite sides that write for Film Threat. Mm-hmm. Bradley Gibson, who you work with very closely, one of our most prolific writers.
Yeah.
He's on the more progressive side, and Alan is not. And they work together like all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why. To me, that's the default setting and the correct way to be. So I wish others would do that, but that's not the way it is. Everything is one side. Thanks, Lord Comet.
Yeah, let me just share. We reviewed this movie. Hashtag unfit, the psychology of Donald Trump. This movie is not kind at all to Donald Trump.
But there are others we covered that are.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The recent Dinesh D'Souza doc.
Yep. Yeah, we go.
It's that's the way it should be. It's so simple. Okay, this one here, Alan.
From Alan Horkin, a rules for thee, not for me, hypocrisy in action. Absolutely.
Exactly. Thanks, Alan.
C.D. Stein, 69. If an actor is expressing their own opinion on their own, but with with Rachel Zegler, she brought her political ideas during a promotion of the movie. That is automatically alienating half your audience. Yes.
I agree. Your job is to promote the movie. Your job is to get butts in seats, especially kids and families. This is, I hope after this that she learns a lesson. Mm-hmm. She is toxic. I would not hire her at all for anything at this point.
Yep. And by the way, Spellbound, starring Rachel Zegler, is coming out next month.
I'm invited to a screening of it.
Yeah, I think that's the first John Lasseter movie. So,
and I know we have got like 4 or 5 other news stories. Let's save those for Friday. Atomic Glory. We'll just save them for Friday. We're gonna do them, but Friday. But I'm gonna. I put another one in there. Stop trying to make GLICKED a thing. All right,
but you're making GLICKED a thing.
Finally gonna get the review. Let's talk about The Apprentice, but why don't you talk to the chat? I got to get more coffee.
All right, chat. Let's talk.
I can't even talk.
That was a weird transition. Yeah,
that was yeah.
I didn't think you meant to play that one.
I didn't mean to play it. I meant to play this one.
USA, okay.
It is nice to know that you love America.
I love America. I absolutely love America.
All right, it's time, folks.
I'm not going back where I came from. Let's just say that.
All right, folks, it's time. Let's review Gladiator II. I have seen the film, as and Alan has as well. And I'll just say right off the bat, this will be non-spoiler or light spoilers, not important ones. I'll just say this right off the bat. We did not need this movie. We did not need this film. The original Gladiator from 2000 with Russell Crowe is epic. The score, I get chills thinking of that score. The story is amazing. Alan, if you'd put up the poster as usual, see, I shouldn't have to tell you to do that. That should just be.
Yeah.
It's like, this is, yeah.
Okay. We don't usually do reviews on Wednesdays, but that's okay.
All right. Thanks. Hey, when we do a review, we need the poster. Atomic Glory, if you would help Alan.
Yeah. We rarely do reviews on Wednesdays. That's all.
If he fails in this duty.
Yeah. I mean, Friday we do reviews, and so therefore all the posters. But Wednesday is usually news day.
Okay, I'm making a new rule now. When we do a review, whether it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, we need posters, okay? So we know. So someone that's just tuning in, what's this live stream that's going on?
Yeah,
what's going on?
Because the banner that says Gladiator II review would have been difficult to.
I don't want to see my face or your face. I want to see the poster. I love movie posters.
You want to see this poster? This poster, this amazing poster. Yes.
Let's start this over, okay? When you clip this for review, can you just start from after the words I'm saying now? Thank you. Gladiator 2 is here, and I will put this movie in the category of a movie that never needed to be made. The first film from 2000, starring Russell Crowe, directed by Ridley Scott, is pitch perfect, Oscar-winning, amazing score. I get chills thinking about the score for this film, and the story was the perfect ending. Gladiator 2 is directly connected to the events in the first Gladiator, and I don't really care. The way it ended, I think, was fine, with kind of the universe kind of correcting itself in their timeline. It is based on real history, and I thought it was phenomenal. It's a film I often revisit. So you never needed to make this. Is even a movie like, see, Highlander 2 didn't need to get made. Highlander, perfect film. Great fun action. You did not need part 2, which completely ruined the first one. I don't think this does damage to the first movie, but my God, I knew this movie would be bad from the first few minutes. What happens in the first few minutes? There's a title sequence that shows you images of key moments from the first Gladiator. Joaquin Phoenix giving thumbs down. You've got, Russell Crowe as Maximus. You have other images like, hey, remember this scene? Remember that? Remember? That's the whole title sequence. From the titles, I knew this would be awful. Then there's a spectacular battle scene with ships approaching a fortress of Romans, led by Pedro Pascal's character, are approaching this fortress to take on the barbarians. And we meet our cast of characters, and it looks so digital. Alan, before we go on, what do you think of that action sequence?
The opening action sequence.
Yeah.
It felt standard, pretty standard. We've seen that before.
Except for there's a woman.
Yes.
There's
a woman. Yes.
Paul Mescal plays Lucius, and he has a woman he's betrothed to, or they're married or whatever. And she puts on warrior. She's like the only female warrior in this whole giant fortress. In any case,
but true to life, what happens to her?
Yes, something bad, which fuels his rage against Pedro Pascal's character, Marcus Acacius. In any case, he is then, Lucius is taken to slavery, forced to be a gladiator and fight. Denzel Washington plays, Macrinus? Anyways, I don't know. He takes him under his wing, and he fights in some gladiator battles against this is the first fight, a bunch of digital monkeys. And it looks awful. I was so, oh God. They're just, it is. And I'll end with this before I go to and we're not going to get super detailed about it. It's just scene after scene of, remember this from Gladiator? Yeah. We're going to do it, except not as well. And we're going to lift the scene directly out of Spartacus. There's a lift out of Spartacus.
Yeah.
We'll do a spoiler review on Friday, but this is the Force Awakens of Gladiator movies, and I'll explain it this way. Let me be clear. Force Awakens was criticized, rightly so, for being a retread of the original Star Wars, but in every way fell short. This is the same. If you liked Gladiator, here's the worst retelling of that story, with a warrior that is spiteful against twin emperors, and attempts a comeuppance, so to speak. We do have no disrespect to the actors. I thought Denzel Washington, probably the worst performance on his part. Yep. Connie Nielsen is back as Lucilla. She was very good. And Russell Crowe's Maximus is shown in flashbacks.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You talked about how they use flashbacks at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
they use flashbacks all throughout the movie. And my problem is that all the flashbacks there are to develop sympathy for the Lucius character.
Right.
And the only way they could develop any sympathy at all for any characters was to flash back to the first movie.
Right.
And then when they show, what Hollywood overdoes and is now becoming more obvious. But you see Maximus's gladiator, outfit, uniform on the wall.
Right.
And Lucius is looking at it. Well, guess what happens later in the movie at the moment?
Yes.
I mean,
exactly.
It's like, do you think we're that stupid that we don't know this is happening? That you're foreshadowing? The CG, this movie is over CG. There's too much CG in it.
The CG is so bad. The CG is actually terrible.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is, I've been saying it over and over again. We know what CG looks like. We know when we look at the screen that's CG. You're not fooling anybody, and that's why I would much rather prefer you build a model than use CG.
I'd rather see a model.
Mm-hmm. By the way, shout out to Nosferatu on that.
It's so less than the first film. The first film has so many. I mean, obviously there was some use of CG in the first movie for some of the sequences, but it had verisimilitude. The first Gladiator had looked real. You believed it. People could die. People like had gruesome deaths. It was visceral and amazing. And this movie is a freaking video game. It's bad.
Watching CG characters die, you just don't.
You don't feel it.
With it. Yeah. The other. Okay. So here's the fun part, though.
Right.
Without giving away the ending, let's just Lucius' motivations. He loves Rome. He loves Rome.
Yes,
a lot.
he loves Rome.
And all he wanted to do was make Rome great again.
Right.
I mean, that's
it. Oh my God.
I mean, that's the other thing, is because the motivation of that character, the idea that he wants to make Rome, restore Rome to its power,
right?
Because it plays around with the idea of the fall of Rome. That's not a spoiler here. But the thing is, you don't get that sense at the start of the film. You just get the sense that this guy is a warrior who's helping defend his adopted country, and this idea that he becomes this great leader, he never earns any of that. It's just thrust upon him. He gives orders, therefore he's a great leader. Denzel Washington not only gives a horrible performance, so does Pedro Pascal.
He's bad. By the way, people laughed during what should have been dramatic moments with Denzel. They laughed.
I mean, Denzel, at the end of the movie, his performance is unbearable.
It's bad. This is the worst Denzel performance I've ever seen. Yeah. He is clutch. He is reliable. He is great in bad movies. He is bad in a bad movie for the first time in his career. He should be embarrassed. Yeah.
The other thing is, so Pedro Pascal's character, I'll just say he's the sympathetic bad guy. You need to feel great sympathy for him, because is he really a bad guy? And the thing is if that was the information Pedro was given, I believe his feeling was, okay, therefore the emotion of this character is going to be mopey.
You're right. He's mopey. He's not even good. Pedro Pascal, I like generally. I mean, he's really good in Game of Thrones. I mean, really good. He is weightless here. He is weightless. It seems, and by the way, I saw this at a screening of mostly SAG actors. They were laughing during a lot of it. And there was a Q&A after with the cast, including Denzel, Paul Mescal, and Connie Nielsen. They were all there. It's for our members only. You can watch the whole 30-minute Q&A. Like, how do you do a Q&A after something like that? It was sad. Honestly, it was kind of sad. I couldn't believe I had really bad.
Yeah, you should have been at the Wish Q&A that I was at last year.
I feel that's the only time I feel sympathetic towards. It's like, oh wow, you made a terrible movie. But one thing I want to say from that Q&A, they bragged about the movie was made and shot in 55 days.
Wow.
2 months they shot this film. I mean, that is. Now, some of the stuff where it's not all CG looked pretty good, but my God, this was just. Yeah. I in fact, I had tickets to see it again on Thursday when it's opening. I canceled them. I got rid of my tickets. I don't care.
Yeah.
So
I brought my daughter, and she slept through the whole thing. She literally slept.
Yeah. So it's bad. 4 out of 10, maybe less.
Yeah, I think I gave it a 3 or a 4. I think it's a 4.
Is your review up on the site yet?
Yeah, it was up last week.
Oh, okay.
But
this movie's bad, and yeah, I don't know. I actually think, you know what? It'll probably do okay.
Well, it may do okay opening week this weekend, but I think you're going to see a big drop. I think people will see it. That's why I'm starting to question whether. I think if the box office hits 300 million, it's going to be purely because of Wicked.
Yeah. So you give it a 3 out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 10. A couple of the action scenes were good. Other than that,
I don't remember the good one.
Other than that, I'll end on this. Other than that, it's the second gayest movie this year because it's a lot of oiled up men.
Okay, oiled up men. All right, because there's only one or two gay moments in it.
What are your final thoughts, Alan, before we go to comments?
What was Ridley thinking?
Money. Money.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. It's like the first one is so great, and to follow up with something that is far less than great, from the same filmmaker. Is he getting too old? I don't know.
He's 80. Ridley Scott is 86. He should have not made this movie. It looks like, based on the budget, it was a cash grab by the producers. And
well, as long as they got their money up front and not relying on the box office, good job. Spend it well.
Let's go to your comments, starting with Supers here.
All right, K Manifesto for 10. Always an entertaining time. Thanks, Chris and Alan.
Well, thank you, K Manifesto.
Yeah, it helps when a movie is really bad.
Yeah.
Red French Moon for 2 euros. No trolling. Should Scott retire? I mean, yeah.
I think at this point, yes.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. Yeah, he should retire.
Darth Bender, member for 11 months. Hey guys, love your work. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for watching.
From the top here, I'll go.
David Rayner. Too many people in that poster look at like Pascal. Yeah, they just superimpose his face on it, like they do with our faces in posters. Sons and Shadows. You think we will still get Gladiator 3, or will someone take the keys away from Grandpa Ridley?
We might, based on box office, there may be a Gladiator 3. It's open to a sequel.
Maldy. Gladiator 2 is half retcon, half shock value, half ponying up big name actors who stumbled out of their trailer, and half pointless. It 200% sucks. Retire Ridley.
I'm going to assume maybe saw it because it did open in Europe a week ago.
Yep. Luke Brown. Film lead was weak. No gravitas.
Yeah, I don't know. Paul Mescal, I don't get him. Like, I don't think
he was in that one movie.
A very average. I don't think he's great. He leaves no impression on me. Not bad, but not good.
Yeah, he was in that movie last year that I call Father and Daughter on Vacation.
It was such a boring movie. I did not love that film at all.
Brock Samsonite. I forgot, how did the Romans learn to catch sharks and put them into the Colosseum?
That's another thing that's dumb. They do that, and then a couple days later, they have another gladiator fight with no water. Wouldn't there be mud? That was the dumbest. Bad digital sharks.
Now, my understanding is that type of event actually happened at the Colosseum, where it was just filled with water. But again, you can't do that one day and take it away the next day. MK Solid, it wasn't Lucius royalty. Why is he fighting in gladiator pits?
They explain it.
Explain the movie. Yeah.
It's explained. We'll do spoilers Friday.
Yeah. Sons and Shadows, worse than verisimilitude. Dang, Denzel.
Worse than virtuosity.
Oh, virtuosity. Again, dyslexic. Ridley Scott is an abysmal director. Says Gladiator 2 is terrible storytelling, terrible editing, and lackluster as hell action scenes. Yeah, I don't remember a single action scene. ADL is 24. The one in the at the dinner. That's the one I remember. For a $300 million film, poor CG is inexcusable. Yep. Or just build a model. Just build a model for that much money.
I know. So, okay. We're going to pivot. What do you think we'll talk about next?
Oh, probably the best movie.
Don't. You cannot.
Pivot! 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 Pivot!
Did that get changed?
No.
Is that a new one?
Alan, we're doing this. We're doing it right now, Alan. I'm going to tickle you with my lightsaber.
Ah.
An oldie but a goodie.
That's a good one.
Well, Alan, it is time. Wicked is here. We've got the early review. It's opening to fan screenings today and opens this weekend. It is based on the stage play of the same name, which is loosely based on the book that is a prequel of sorts to the original Wizard of Oz. It takes place both before and concurrently with the story from the Wizard of Oz, giving you new insight into what made the Wicked Witch of the West wicked. Alan, tell us about Wicked.
Tell us the story of Wicked. So if you're familiar with the play, it's basically the first act of the play. But as you say, this is the origin story of the Wicked Witch of the West. She was born an illegitimate child, hated by her father. She has a half-sister who goes on to the prestigious Shiz University. And the father asks Elphaba here to guard her sister, make sure she has a good time, because she's in a wheelchair. And we figure out why later on. So everybody there, all the diverse students of Shiz can't stand the fact that they have to go to school with a green witch. And they treat her badly because she is green. But we soon learn that she has magical powers, which draws the attention of Ms. or Professor Myrtle, something like that, played by Michelle Yeoh, who says finally someone with real witch powers, and takes her under her wings to develop the witch powers. Meanwhile, Elphaba is forced to is encouraged to attend Shiz, and her roommate is Glinda from Wizard of Oz, and she is a conceited wannabe wizard, and the two of them develop a friendship, and the movie is about that friendship and how it deals with a lot, but ultimately, I don't know if I should give away the ending, but we all kind of know the prejudice just builds, and it causes Elphaba to unleash to receive her full witchly powers.
This is Elphaba's journey to becoming wicked.
Right.
We see what motivated her, what drove her, and it really deals with the rise of fascism. Now, before people freak out about the themes in this is a decades-old play. So Elphaba's sister being in a wheelchair.
25 years old.
What's that?
It's 25 years old almost.
Yeah, so it's Elphaba's sister being in a wheelchair. That's from the play, and it ties into the story. Elphaba's origins are part of it. The rise in fascism, which deals with the animals, whether animals who can speak should be a part of the university. And who is the professor? It's played by Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage, yeah.
Plays the professor, a goat. He's a goat, basically.
Yes.
Professor Dillamond. And I gotta put my biases right out there first. I love the stage play based on my love of the original Wizard of Oz, because what Wicked does, it respects the source material, the Frank L. Baum source material, and the Wizard of Oz with Judy Garland. It literally is a story that is a prequel and then runs concurrently. Once you get into the events of the second film, it kind of runs parallel to what's happening in the Wizard of Oz, and even goes beyond. Won't get into that so much today, but you gotta know it's a musical.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I'll say the other part is the trope of the villain being humanized, not really being the villain. This is the first show to actually tell that story. So
yeah,
it's not a trope because it did it first,
and it did it very well.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are trying to put some political, is this in view of the election? Is this a comment on Trump? It isn't. The play was
25 years ago.
25 years ago. The movie was well into production before the election. And if anything, if you want to read something into it, you know what really is? Elphaba as the witch is Trump.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
And the wizard is Biden, because the thing that unites people is a good villain. So they make Elphaba into being evil. They convince the public through propaganda that this person, Elphaba, is an evil witch, but Elphaba is not. Elphaba has really like virtuous ideals that
Yeah.
she
She's
espouses.
standing up for the animals.
She's standing up for the animals. And I'll say this, I loved it. I don't care, unabashedly. I've seen the play 4 times. I loved it with a caveat. I didn't love it as much as you. I give it an 8 out of 10. I know you gave it 8.5 on the website. When it's very gay. I'll say this. However, I'll say, I want to put a pin in that. Let me explain how. It's about female friendship. It's about Elphaba and Galinda. They hate each other. They're friends. It's about their friendship being tested in light of the political environment that they find themselves in. It's a beautiful story of female friendship. There's nothing gay about it between the leads. There's even, you don't see it that often, sexual romance is in the film. There are several romances blossoming.
Oh, and by the way, with the same guy too.
Yes, so there's a little a trio with, is it what, Fierro?
Not a trio. It's
love triangle.
Yeah, love triangle.
Love triangle, and then Elphaba's sister finds love with a munchkin, and it's heterosexual love. When do you see that in a movie? Now, having said all of that, this is in the backdrop of the students from Shiz University that are very diverse. I mean, very diverse, not just, ethically, but, gay, drag queen, straight, whatever. And there's like, you see guys in skirts. You see Bowen Yang plays I think they never come out and say they're gay or trans or whatever.
Well, he's gay. He's definitely gay in the movie.
He's definitely gay, but he could be trans. He literally does. There's an image of Bowen Yang, and I'll share it. So the Shiz students are wearing skirts, pants, and then they have this half skirt.
Well, yeah, I would say it's like a half kilt or something like that. I think
it's like a half kilt.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say that they gender swapped for Bowen Yang to be in it, and quite frankly, I love the fact that Bowen Yang is in this movie. So
yeah, he literally does. I'll just actually show it to you. He literally has like the half skirt that you see on bathrooms. I'm gonna take this off for a sec. I'm gonna present to you what I have here. This is how Bowen Yang is dressed, and not just him. Other characters have like a half skirt, which that is the transgender bathroom icon.
Yeah, but he's not trans in the movie. He's definitely gay.
They never come out and say what he is, and it really doesn't matter.
Definitely. Well,
all I'm saying is all the gayness of the film is in the background of the movie. If you're paying attention, it may bother you. If you don't care, and I'll say this, it's kind of consistent with the play. I mean, the denizens of Oz are very diverse. That's from the play.
Yeah.
So I'll just say it kind of is a little annoying. Like after a while, there was like a drag queen, and then you see when Fierro comes, he's the love interest. They're like both men and women are going, ooh, Fierro, ooh, Fierro. So it's this movie is gay, and if you're looking for it,
candy for everybody.
It's all I can say is it's very gay, and if you're looking for it, it is really gay. Yep. If you kind of ignore it, it's a beautiful story. And let me tell you why I respond to this play. As much as I think the prequels have aged well, the Star Wars prequels, I'm tying this indirectly to Star Wars, Alan. Uh,
listening.
it's a great story about two friends and how through their journey end up becoming enemies. And I wanted the story of the fall of Anakin Skywalker. I wanted that story to be this epic, beautiful story of two friends, Obi-Wan and Anakin. And I feel the story is pretty weak, and I'll tell you why. What is the exact reason Anakin turns to the dark side? And I've done panels at Comic-Con where I ask this question. No one can give one answer. I get like 5 answers. Because you wanted to save Padme from death. He didn't get a promotion. He didn't get a promotion to be Jedi Man. There's a million reasons. It's not definitive. In this, we really see definitively what drove Alphaba to become so-called evil. Is she evil? So I'm watching Wicked, the play. I remember when I first saw it, I'm like, God, if the story of the fall of Anakin was like this, of Anakin's turn to Darth Vader was told in the way this story was told, we'd be talking about it forever as one of the great stories of all time. So I see it through the lens of this is the story of the prequels as it could have been. So that's why I respond to it. The stuff about, hey, if you see Broadway plays, they're all some level of gay and who cares? And I've never been bothered by that stuff. I actually don't care. I mean, one of my favorite filmmakers, indie filmmakers, is gay, John Waters. I love John Waters movies, So I don't think it's pushing any agenda per se, but if you're looking for it, you're gonna see it.
Yeah. Well, let's just say they're not.
So, Alan, what are your thoughts? So I really loved it. I'm
Yeah.
going to see it again. I'm not going to see Gladiator 2 again, but I'm seeing Wicked again. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And the message is there if you're looking for it, but it's not all about a message.
Yeah, I really loved Wicked here. I'll say this: the fear was it's not that there's an agenda in the film, but the implication we got based on the press tour was that they're injecting a political agenda into the movie, and thankfully they didn't do that.
Right.
In fact, my advice to Universal is to shut down the press tour. Just stop it. Let the movie speak for itself, because it will do well this weekend. It will be the Barbie of this year.
Yes, it will.
Okay,
it will,
so
100%.
Okay, so like you, I'm a big fan of the play. I've seen it 3 times, so you're up on me on that one. This movie is longer than the play, which I like because a lot of times when you adapt a movie based on a musical, it's shorter. It's an hour and a half, and you cut out a bunch of songs. This one, they keep all the songs, and then they add backstory. And I will say this: there's probably about 45 minutes of extra material in this. I would say they could have cut that in half.
Yeah, I agree.
But what it did was there was a lot of things that they did that they added that just added to the emotional story of this. For example, so there's a Munchkin, a Buck, who loves Elphaba's sister, Nessa Rose, but he's actually in love with Galinda, and then Galinda manipulates him. That scene is played out so much better in the movie than in the play, because you feel right away the implication of this betrayal that's about to happen. The story between, we talk about the animals and the humans. The animals, it's the kind of animals should be seen, not heard. So slowly animals are starting to lose the ability to talk and lose the ability. That story, especially with Peter Dinklage, that story is so well told in this movie, far better than it is in the play.
Yep.
So, in terms of story, the other thing I'll say is, if you are not a fan of musicals, you will hate this movie. I'll tell you right now, if you don't like musicals, forget it. Don't even bother, because it does everything musicals do. Oh, they're going to break out into a song. Yes, they do. Oh, a big dance number. Yes, there is. I will say that, weirdly enough, there are songs in Wicked that I don't really care for. And then there are songs that everybody
or as I call those songs, I'm going to the bathroom, I'll be right back.
I will say that
great moments.
Yeah.
Look, I like.
Hold on, no, let me finish what I'm saying.
Sorry.
I will say that this movie treated those songs that I didn't like much better. And weirdly enough, the songs that I really love didn't come off as spectacular as it should have. Dancing Through Life, it takes place in this library. It felt very mediocre, and it didn't really pick up until it got to the Oz's Ballroom. The opening number, One Short Day, it's this grand number, but I can tell you that when that number ended and you're on this big note, no one reacted to anything in my audience, and this is critics. I will say that there is a connection, a new part in this movie that's connected with the Broadway play, and when that moment happened, everybody in our theater lost their shit.
Yeah, it's same in my theater. They went insane.
They went insane for it.
It was great.
And, you know, this is weird because I was going. This is my reaction. Oh my god! That was And then I'll lastly say that Defying Gravity. To me, if this movie couldn't nail Defying Gravity, the experiment was done. They treated it in a different way, and I was getting worried about it until the final ending, that final high note. And they did something I didn't expect them to do, and they just nailed it. I will say that, the big, with my daughter, she didn't want to see the movie because she wants to see the play first. I think this movie does justice to the play, to the point where you could watch this and you can go to the play and have two very different experiences. The one criticism I have of films like this is that sometimes there's an intimacy you get on a stage with the actors and the songs that do not translate to film. Into the Woods suffered from that. Into the Woods is a bad movie because it couldn't capture that theatrical experience. This one, I think John M. Chu, the director, knew that, and he did things to he didn't make it feel personal like on stage, but he did things to get you as close as you could, and that was a lot of the extra story. So I will say that I really like this movie. I will see it again, and I think it's going to be it's going to do the overwhelming box office this weekend and for Thanksgiving as well.
And I think it'll be one of the biggest movies of the year. And I think not just box office, this will get technical awards, acting nominations.
This is a shoe-in at the Oscars.
Shoe-in. And Ariana Grande, she did a really good job. I mean, got to give her credit. And the actress who played Elphaba, she might be annoying in all the press for the film, but Cynthia Erivo, she's also very good.
She's good. She's not as good.
She isn't as good as the other Elphabas, in my opinion.
Yeah. No,
but she doesn't ruin the movie.
Yeah. And that's why I say you've got to stop this press tour. Stop letting them talk.
The press tour is not helping the film.
Yeah.
It's not. The movie is, and I will say this, it's way better than the trailer. Way better than the trailer. So I recommend it. I give it an 8 out of 10. Alan?
I get it 8.5 out of 10.
Great.
And Lori, if you could get the YouTube AI summary of this episode, I'm curious what it says.
Let's go to your comments here. Oh, and by the way, on Versus, we're going to have some special guests to review this film that are hardcore Wicked fans.
Okay. Anthony Ringette. If Ariana doesn't scissor every woman in the movie, it's not gay. It's not gay. Okay.
Well, there's got to be a Wicked,
there will
adult film at some point.
CD Sign 69. Play and the book was about those who are outsiders in general. This movie made it more specific about race instead of being an outsider. Took my daughter to early screening. She hated it.
Yeah, I think the problem is the press tour for the film sort of nails it.
Tainted. Yeah, it taints your view of it.
Tainted the film.
Well, I mean, let's put it this way. Cynthia Erivo, if it's about race, a third of the Shiz University is black.
Well, the university students are all very diverse.
Yeah. Tertiary says Oz is run by progressive Democrats. Yeah.
But what's funny is they turn into fascists.
Yeah.
I'm serious. You could look on this as they vilify, Elphaba,
Yeah.
is the same as vilifying Trump. There's a
Yeah.
different way to look at this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely caught that at the end, and I'm like, did they intend it to be the nose, or it's one of those, they're supporting Trump without knowing they did it. Red French Moon, a musical, very gay. No way.
All musicals are some level of gay.
That's right. Ooh, kissing between a man and a woman. Gross.
It's just refreshing to see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Darth Maul. If Alan gets any more excited, his head will pop. It was so wonderful. That moment. Oh my God, that moment. 8:24. Isn't this only part one of the story? How is the cliffhanger handled? Just like the play.
Perfect. Yeah,
Just
it
like
ends the perfect place.
You know,
And
I will
great.
say they handle, because there is a cliffhanger, and they handled it better in the movie than they did in the play. I am excited about what the events will unfold in the second half, and I already know what the second half of the play is.
Yeah, I already know what happens, and I'll be there next year.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm definitely looking forward to it.
All right, that's going to wrap it up for us today. We will be back Friday with spoiler reviews of both Wicked and Gladiator 2, and reviews of a couple more movies. Flow, an animated movie that's coming out. We have a screener of that, Alan. That's in theaters this weekend.
Okay.
So a couple of the films
is coming out as well.
Spellbound is out, and we'll have more Hollywood news. I want to thank our mod, Lord Thoth. Want to thank Lori, Atomic Lori. I want to thank Glanuccia. I want to thank you for watching, and a special edition of Versus on Monday. We will have super fans of Wicked on the show Monday. I have a special guest that'll blow your mind.
So you've canceled all the Gladiator fans.
Not really. So
we have a super chat, by the way. We have a super
and
chat.
thanks. What super chat?
Lord comments. Do you not see it?
Okay.
Here we go.
I
Okay, I'll
don't.
do it. Lord comment for 2. Alan is our poster child of film threat. Rawr, rawr.
All right. So thank you so much, everybody. We'll be back Friday next week. Regular schedule. Might do shorter shows. Probably have a chill stream the next Friday. And great. It was a good show, Alan.
Yeah.
Did you have fun?
I did. I'm trying to think. I think movies are coming out next Friday, but
yeah, they are. We're going to review them.
Yes. I will rule you one day, Flash Gordon.
An oldie but a goodie. All right. Thank you, everyone. See you Friday. Alan?
let's get out of here.